Oh, sorry.
Whew. It is cold. Oh my goodness. Welcome back to another video. So this is the first video of 2023. We made it. We're not dead. New video, new year, new things. So here's what I'm thinking. For 2023. That's pretty. Wouldn't you like to know how to make it? For 2023, I've basically decided to change my channel into a woodworking channel. I am in no way a professional woodworker. I'm figuring it out as I go, but I thought it might be cool to, like, as I learn the processes, I'll teach you the processes. As I pick up the processes, you can pick up the processes and get mad at me and leave mean comments, and that's all that really matters. So for the first installment, I'm going to show you how I made this. This isn't finished yet. This is still rough. I've got to sand it down and everything still. An old co-worker and a friend of mine came to me and said, "Hey, you ever thought about making end tables?" I said, yes I have. I've actually made a few. I've made one. Now I've made two, so that counts as a few. He sent me a picture of what he had in mind, and basically I took that picture, drew up this picture, and turned it into this thing. This is made in the farmhouse style, I guess is what you call it. It's made of poplar and oak. It's probably going to end up being stained. He said he wanted a light frame with a dark top, which kind of hurts me to stain it. As you can see behind me, that's more oak. That's the same oak that this oak came from. It's a lot of oaking around here. I'm sorry. This oak came from my great-grandfather, who took it off of a 175-year-old wagon, probably 50 years ago. So this was cut down 200 years ago, something like that. We're gonna make this. I've already made up the sides. I'm sorry. I didn't think I was gonna film this, and then I ended up doing it. Went ahead and I made these up. The process to get to this step is not super complicated. I did use the Rockler beadlock system. It's sort of like a domino. You could use dowels, screws, pocket hole screws, whatever you really wanted to do that. This part was complicated as I'll ever get out. If you're interested, I will make another video and show you how I did these X's. It was just a pain in the butt. Next step in the process is to make all the horizontals here, here, here. These are cut to 1 inch. I think the table saw is still set to that size. And sharp, and it is. And those I'm just using glue and pocket hole screws to keep them in. I tested this one out. Oh my God, it is sturdy. Get off. It holds me. Let's get started on the other. All my friends are dead.
Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution.
You never have too many clamps. Or as I once heard, you can never have too many YouTubers telling you can never have too many clamps. I got a bunch is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, we want I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation.
So to do this, I started with setting up this stop block. I had pre-cut one of these pieces to match up with these, to where they fit in there perfectly. Then I added this stop block here to where I could take the piece, slide it in, cut, and they'll all be the exact same size. One thing I have figured out, if you want repeatable cuts, if you want stuff that looks the same size, you'll never get it right every time by drawing a line. A stop block is the best thing you can make. I wish I had a bigger miter station, but I am in a 10 by 12 shed. So you work with what you got. One issue I constantly have is splintering. I don't know if it's my blade or, I mean, this is poplar. It's not the hardest
That's what she said.
wood in the world, but It's not freaking pine. All I'm doing is taking a piece of 150 sandpaper and I'm just hitting the edges and knocking them off, making it a little more smoother. Sanding. If you have any tips on how to avoid the splintering, please put them down in the comments, because I seriously would like to know. It's so weird if I'm doing it like this, doesn't it? Oh yeah. So for this, I do have a pocket hole jig, and what I'll do is 2 pocket holes in these, and that'll keep them square on it, and then 1 pocket hole into these with glue, and that'll help keep that square. I'm gonna assume you don't know what a pocket hole jig is. I don't know where mine's at. This is the Craig pocket hole jig. Not the cheapest one they make, but it's pretty dang cheap. People can hate on them all they want. There has been tests done that show that this type of joint is just as strong as, I don't want to say because I didn't watch the whole video. It just showed that it was strong. If you're a beginner like me, it's super easy to use. You just line up where you want your holes, clamp it. Watch out for your finger. It hurts. You clamp it in where you want your holes to go. It comes with this nifty little drill bit. You set your stop to the size wood you have. Also set this to the size wood you had. I'm not sure why. It just said to do that. And then you just put your holes in. Achoo. There. Perfect holes for the screws. And then the screws just go in the side and it catches. And they're super strong. I mean, you saw that. That other one, you can't see what I'm pointing at. I weigh 300 pounds and I was sitting on, I was doing something and put all my weight on it.
That's what she said.
Okay, so we're gonna do all the holes and then we'll start the assembly process.
Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boy, in love with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can take.
I'm trying out a new clamp that my parents got me for Christmas. These are they're not woodpeckers. They're Amazon specials. I don't know. They're rip-offs of woodpecker. They're 90-degree clamps. Yeah. Dead on. Surprise. Nice. Thanks, Mom and Dad. I'm using these to get a 90-degree this way. Just got to get it lined up with my drawn mark. Make sure it's flat on the bottom. Get all this shit.
We can make an impact, grab and then take it.
Didn't move at all. What do you know? Moving right along. Yeah, this is going pretty good. There it is. If you ever make something like this, I recommend doing spacers. And the way I did that, took my spacers, you saw me do the bottom half, I put them in there, set these flush, and it was good. Then I just did the same thing on the top, and then that left a smaller gap in the middle. The shelves that I'm using are about 1 inch thick, so you get a 6-inch space here, 5-inch space here, 6-inch space here. I think I'm to the point where I'm ready to mill down that giant piece of wood, which I think is too big for my miter saw, and no way I'm getting it through my table saw. So now I gotta figure that out. All right, here we go.
Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boy, in love with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it.
there they are, all planed down. I've planed them down to where you can see that it is red oak now instead of the gray oak that it looked like. To me, the most beautiful thing about this is that it's over 200 years old.
You don't say.
Like the tree was cut down probably 200 years ago.
You don't say.
And that it had rough sawn markings on one side. But I don't think the customer would have wanted that. So I went ahead and I planed it down to where it looks nice and new again. But to keep that history, I left the bottom sides to where they are still rough sawn and just freaking cool looking. Next step is to measure all of the shelves, cut them down to size, put them in, and secure them. The way I'm going to secure these with these neat little figure 8 looking, you see that? They're figure 8 looking brackets, and they go on, and when they do, they move back and forth still, which allows for expanding and contracting of the wood, because over time wood moves. It's never permanent. Don't matter, give it 3 weeks, there'll be a crack somewhere. All right, I'm gonna start at the bottom, work my way up after I find my tape. So here is actually a pretty neat little trick that I learned. To measure inside, you can always do like this and just kind of guess. You can, stick that in like that, and you'll never get it completely right. Here's the easiest way to do it. Mark your center, or just put a mark. Measure to that line. I'm gonna actually move that mark because I didn't put it in the easy place. Take your tape measure, mark at a measurement that's easy to see. So I'm gonna mark right there on 8 inches. Come to the other side. I got 7.5. 7.5 plus 8.5 is 15.5. Is that right? Use a calculator. Sanding everything down, I went ahead and I put stain on the shelves. You can see I didn't do the bottoms because I wanted them to keep that rough saw look that they have. That's the sawmill marks from 200 years ago.
You don't say!
Something like that, but the tops are smooth as butter and will look great. Originally, I was just going to put like a clear on these, but I don't know if you can tell, but with poplar, putting a clear on it is not the best idea, especially like this one here. I don't know if you can tell, it's a little green compared to these. Poplar's got a green hue to it sometimes, and I don't know why. So I'm doing the natural stain on the tops, and then I've got this somewhere, Minwax wood finish solid color stain. So this piece here, that is just, polyurethane put on it. This one has the clear or the solid gray stain, which kind of turned out very white, if you ask me. Side by side, you can definitely tell a difference. This one here is a lot more green than this one. So I think I'm gonna do the frames completely in that. They're sanded down, ready to go. Just gotta take the hardware back off, which was a pain in the butt to get it on in the first place. Gotta take the hardware back off, and then I could start finishing everything. Boom! Turn music back on. So while I was waiting on them to dry, I cleaned the shop. Now they just need to dry overnight. So I used 2 coats of polyurethane satin finish, and I think they're going to turn out pretty good. It's definitely farmhouse style, which doesn't mean it has to be ugly. I think those colors are going to look pretty good with each other. Lee already said that if the customer doesn't like the color, even though he has approved already, that she'll take them. So I'll let these dry for the day, and then later tonight I'll start adding the hardware back on. Probably final assembly tomorrow afternoon sometime, and then these things are done. Altogether, I know this seems like a long video. Altogether, I probably have less than 8 hours in this. It's just been spread out for a long time. It's hard when you work a full-time job that stresses the crap out of you. And then you want to start your own business doing woodworking, but you know, you gotta pay the bills. All right, let's let them dry. I'm sorry I vented to you. Oh, there they are, done, finally. So I ended up, when I finished, I went over the finish one last time with a super high sandpaper. It's about 1500. Make it nice and smooth. They've got a real good satin finish on them. There they are. And they are not that wobbly. That's my workbench. All right, that's it. I know this wasn't really a how-to. I just wanted to show you what I was doing. Just get an idea of how I'm going to start doing woodworking videos. If you'd like to know more about how I made the frames and the X bracing, just leave a comment down below. I've got this really cool tool that will replace a domino. I'm thinking about doing a video on that. Pretty sure you're going to want. Not the video, the tool. I don't know if you care about the videos. But that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. If you did not, well, I don't really care. They did. I think, didn't they get rid of the dislike button? So joke's on you. Make sure you tune in next time when we make an entire dragon out of pixie sticks. That's not going to happen. Don't even think that's going to happen. I don't think it's possible. The heater just burned my pants.
Who was it? He didn't say.